Welcome back to the It's Culture podcast. Tonight, we're discussing a deep troubling incident that recently made headlines involving a middle school student being assaulted by a white male while on a field trip. Let's get into it. Welcome. Thank you. Welcome to It's Culture Podcast. My name is Mark, and this is where culture meets courage. So, if you could do me a favor, hit that like button, hit that share button, hit the subscribe button, hit that notification bell so you can get all the updates. And to all my new subscribers, thank you so much. I say this on every single video. I continue to do these videos because you continue to tune in. So thank you so much for subscribing. And if you haven't subscribed yet, what are you waiting on? Just smash that subscribe button. Help me get to 1,500 subscribers as we continue to grow this channel. It's Juneteenth, and I decided that I was going to scour the internet, just, looking for news articles and things that were going on. And I ran across this video, and it kind of got me thinking about Juneteenth today and what freedom means for Black Americans. Now, if you don't know what I'm talking about, this is a story that just recently broke. It involves a 11-year-old Black student who was on a field trip with his class, and on his way back to school, take a good listen.
Covering Whatcom County, Bellingham police are investigating a hate crime after an 11-year-old student was punched in the face by a man during a school field trip. Police believe he was targeted because of his race. Como's Lynn N. Wynn has the latest on the arrest and the investigation.
Unprovoked, a student was attacked by an adult male simply based on his race.
Students from Whatcom Middle School were walking back from a field trip nearby, and they happened to be right in front of the police station when a man suddenly crossed the street and punched an 11-year-old Black student in the face, chipping his tooth. According to the police report, the suspect, 42-year-old Paul Bittner, also pushed the boy and made a statement to the effect of, "Are you gonna talk to a white man like that?"
Okay. Let's start with this one. Let's break this. Let's unpack this. Students walking back to school. Man, 42-year-old Paul Bittner walks across the street, approaches these young boys, starts verbally harassing one of them, and then he turns around and says, "Are you going to talk to a white man like that?" What is going on?
These set of circumstances is extremely rare. In fact, in my 20 years of doing this job, I've never seen anything like this. It's not conducive to our community. It's absolutely disgusting, and we don't see that very often at all.
So she said, this is disgusting, and we don't see this type of hatred and vitriol in our community very, very often, which is good, because we don't want to see things like this happening in our communities either way.
The incident was caught on surveillance cameras at the police station, and a teacher followed the suspect until officers were able to arrest him nearby.
You do this in front of the police station, all on the cameras. A teacher sees you, chases you down, wrestles you down until you can get arrested by the police.
Officers say the suspect continued to use racial slurs. Ryan Ferris's son was on that same field trip with the victim.
It's just a terrible thing. I hope he recovers, and I hope the community recovers, and I think there'll probably be some lessons to be learned about it.
What lessons to be learned? This kind of violence is rooted in racial prejudice. I mean, to me, it's just a harsh reminder of the ongoing racial tensions that exist in many parts of society right now. It also highlights the need for continued efforts to combat racism, because we can simply not have students going on a field trip and then being assaulted by community members. Like, this is outrageous.
The victim's father spoke at the suspect's bail hearing this week with the support of more than 30 community members at his side to make sure he and his family knew they're not alone in this.
Okay. The community's response is swift. They being vocal. They're calling for justice. They also are looking at protective measures for the students. Law enforcement has already been involved. They've already charged this man. So we know that he, at least for right now, is being held accountable. Still got to go to court. I'm curious to see if he's going to take this to trial, or is he just going to settle out and just take a plea deal.
We have all been through it. We know what they're going through. And at its heart, we just want it to stop. And I think that showing up in mass and letting other people know that when you pick on one, you pick on all.
And according to court records, it's unknown if the suspect was under the influence of drugs or alcohol during his arrest. His bail has been set at $500,000. Reporting in Bellingham, Leanne Wynn, Como News.
I would hope that he wasn't on drugs in the middle of the day like that, and that he just decided that he was going to take this out on some students. But we see that this was racially motivated. I mean, at least they're calling it a hate crime. Bail set at $500,000. Don't know, in the grand scheme of things, that's $50,000. So if he has a house, he's probably going to bail out. But every line in this country, whether it's sports, politics, news, whatever, it seems that there is a racial unrest that continues to permeate, and I don't understand why. Today on Juneteenth, we're celebrating the emancipation of enslaved black people, the descendants of slaves, the freedmen. And here we are, years later, still dealing with the exact same thing, still dealing with these issues, still dealing with all the problems that comes with race, and we shouldn't. So I asked the question to you all, what are we going to do about this? As citizens of this country, we're all Americans. At what point do we just say enough is enough of the racism? Now, I know that we can't stop people from harboring these thoughts, but swift justice needs to happen when these things spark. This man, I don't know anything about him. Don't know what his circumstances were. But that day, he decided that he was going to target an 11-year-old black kid and decided to chip his tooth. Think about the trauma for that young child. All these issues in our country, we still dealing with this. What can be done to deal with the racial unrest? Let me know in the comments. Thank you all so much. Culture Nation, have a wonderful night, and I'll talk to you later.